Thank you, Cody. Good job you did, Cody. He was wealthier 4 months ago, but he'll be up there very soon. He's doing good. Come on, sit down, please. Let's have some fun. And I really am. I'm thrilled to be here in Midland, Texas, with the extraordinary men and women of Double Eagle Energy, and what a nice welcome, and thank you very much. Thank you. See a lot of big, beautiful rigs behind me. Thanks to the hardworking citizens like you, the United States of America is now the #1 energy superpower anywhere in the world. So congratulations. That was, it was not that easy, but now it's getting easier. We're here today to celebrate your incredible achievements. We're also here to send a clear message to the zealots, radicals, and extremists trying to shut down your industry and to make America subservient to foreign producers. That won't happen to this nation again. It took a long time to be independent, and as long as I'm your president, we will never let anyone put American energy out of business, which is what they'd like to do. We will never again be reliant on hostile foreign suppliers. We will defend your jobs. We will defend the Lone Star State. I love this state. And we will defend America's newfound energy independence. Before going any further, I want to provide you with a brief update on our battle against the China virus. Our hearts are with the people of Texas. We love our people. We love our country. Statewide, the percent of patients testing positive has stabilized, and the number of new cases has begun to substantially decline. But Texans must remain vigilant. To protect our seniors, my administration has deployed personal protective equipment and rapid point-of-care testing systems to every Medicare and Medicaid certified nursing home in your state. No matter where you go, they have it. This week, Texas hospitals are receiving 500 cases of antiviral treatment, remdesivir. It's been very, very successful, enough to treat 3,200 patients. Under my administration's Operation Warp Speed, we're developing vaccines in record time. Earlier this week, a promising vaccine entered the final stage of clinical trials, long ahead of schedule, with more following very quickly behind. We have some of the greatest companies, labs in the world doing this. This is the fastest a vaccine has ever been developed. Together we will end the plague from China. We will defeat the virus. I want to thank everyone at Double Eagle Energy for hosting us today, including the co-founders, two great, young, smart people, Cody Campbell and John Sellers. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, John. Thank you, Cody. Good job. Thanks also to Interior Secretary David Bernhardt. David, thank you. Energy Secretary Dan Broilette. Texas has really kept him very busy. Where's Dan? You've been kept very busy. Very busy. A great senator and a great friend of mine, Senator Ted Cruz. Ted, thank you. He's out there fighting for you, I want to tell you. Thank you, Ted. Representatives, and these are friends of mine and they're warriors, Jody Arrington and Mike Conaway. Thank you, fellas. Thank you. Thank you. Great job. A very, very special man and a very special talent, and Governor Greg Abbott. Thank you. Thank you, Greg. Great job you're doing. And he's working hard, and you're doing a fantastic job. Our people are working together, and you're getting everything you need. So, good. Thank you for doing such a good job. And thank you also, Dan Patrick, your Lieutenant Governor, my friend. Thank you very much, Dan. Great help. Great team. No better team in the country. Thank you. Midland County Judge Terry Johnson. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Your former governor, a great man, a friend of mine, Secretary of Energy, Rick Perry. Nobody did a better job than my Rick. Thank you, Rick. And we have so many other distinguished guests and local leaders, and we just want to thank you all for being here. Thank you all very much. Great honor. Thank you very much for being here. Under the last administration, America's energy industry was under relentless and unceasing attack. You know that. But the day I took the oath of office, we ended the war on American energy, and we stopped the far left assault on American energy workers. Now, the assault, you've seen what's going on. It could come again, but I have a very strong feeling you're not going to have to worry about it. If you do, you're in big, big trouble. I withdrew from the one-sided energy-destroying Paris Climate Accord. It was a disaster. It cost us billions of dollars, and it would have made us a non-competitive nation. We canceled the Obama administration's job-crushing Clean Power Plan. You know all about that. I approved the Keystone XL and the Dakota Access pipelines immediately upon assuming office. We opened up ANWR in Alaska to energy exploration, ended the moratorium on coal leasing on federal lands, and reopened public lands and offshore areas to oil and gas exploration. That's where David Bernhardt's done such a great job. Thanks, David. We unlocked the full energy potential of Texas and New Mexico. And New Mexico, we're proud that we've been here. We're proud to help. You have been fantastic. A lot of jobs. And since my election, oil and gas production in the Permian Basin has more than doubled. Under the Trump administration, the United States has increased oil production by 3.1 million barrels per day. That's some number. Never been anything like that number. For the first time in nearly 70 years, we have become a net energy exporter. And the United States is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas on the face of the earth. To ensure we maintain this dominant position long into the future, we will never lose this position. My administration is announcing today that export authorizations for American liquefied natural gas can now be extended through the year 2050. Mr. Governor, is that long enough? Okay, 2050, that seems like a long time. He said, let's make it longer. At the same time, we're strongly protecting our environment. Air pollution is down significantly since I took office. While other countries are polluting the world's air and oceans, we will never cease to be a leader in protecting our natural environment, and that's what's happened. People don't know that about us. We love our environment. Under my administration, the United States will continue to have among the cleanest air and cleanest water anywhere on earth, and that's what we have. Thanks to our pro-American energy policies, we're also taking jobs and factories away from countries with poor environmental standards, such as China, and bringing jobs back to America where they belong. Before the invisible enemy struck our shores, we created 800,000 new energy jobs, a third of them in Texas. That was just the new jobs. Add on to that millions of other jobs. After the China virus struck, we implemented historic economic relief. When oil crashed, I got Saudi Arabia, Russia, and others to cut nearly 10 million barrels a day and got OPEC Plus and Mexico to agree to the deal, and hence we're okay now. We're back. And I will tell you, and I can tell you that I spoke with Dan and Greg, and I spoke with Senator Ted Cruz. I spoke with a lot of people, and we were very close to losing a very powerful, great industry, and we did a job. We did a great job all together, working together, a job like I think nobody could have done. And now we're back, and now we're just going to keep expanding. It's going to see, you will see it's happening, but we really did. We did a great job. And I want to thank, frankly, Saudi Arabia. I want to thank Russia. I want to thank Mexico. And I want to thank OPEC, as they call it, plus. It's called OPEC plus. That's OPEC plus a lot of other countries. But they all came together and they did a job for the industry. And we appreciate everybody's help. This action stabilized world oil prices that had been in a free fall and saved millions of energy jobs. And frankly, it saved your industry. 4 months ago, people were very, very concerned about that industry. And now it's just going to be a question of how fast will you put people on. Through the Paycheck Protection Program, we provided over $1 billion in emergency aid to keep Texas energy workers on the payroll. We kept them all on the payroll. We opened up 30 million barrels of space and strategic petroleum reserve, allowing American companies to store surplus oil to be sold at a later time. And we filled up our 75 million barrels in the strategic reserve. And Dan, you've done a fantastic job on that. Thank you very much. I only wish he bought it when the oil was selling for $0 and they paid you $37 in addition. You get a barrel plus 37. I said, Dan, why didn't you make that deal? I would have loved that. But you did well. Thank you very much. Today, I'm taking another bold action to support energy jobs in Texas. In a few moments, I will sign 4 critical permits granting approval to vital pipeline and railway infrastructure on our nation's border. That's a big deal. This will include 2 permits allowing the export of Texas crude to Mexico, a giant victory for the workers of the state that you've been after for many years, right? You've been after that one for many years. I said, what do I know about it? If you want to do it, it's okay with me, and we're doing it. So that's been a long time in the making. We're joined today by some of the incredible patriots of the Texas oil and gas industry who are benefiting from America's energy boom. Josh Ginn was born and raised right here in Odessa and Midland. Where's Josh? Thank you, Josh. After spending a few years away at school, Josh came back home to West Texas. Josh's dad worked on the oil rigs. Josh worked on the oil rigs, and he hopes his 3 children will work one day doing the same kind of incredible work and looking for the wonderful opportunities in American energy. Josh, thank you very much. Congratulate your family. You're going to have a great future. Thank you. Appreciate it. Brian Welch spent 5 years in the Army supporting our victory in the Gulf War. Then he became, hello, Brian. Thank you, Brian. Then he became an energy worker. Did you make the right move, Brian? I think so, right? Better believe it. With over 25 years of experience, Brian is senior pumper with Double Eagle Energy. Do they treat you well? They better. I'm going to come back and see those 2 guys. Just like thousands of other veterans who work in this industry, Brian has made America safer with his service, and now he's helping keep us secure by maintaining American energy independence, which we have. Thank you very much, Brian. Great job. To Brian and every veteran who works in the American energy sector, we salute your noble service, and we thank you very much. We thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. While my administration is fighting for workers like you, the radical left, have you ever heard of the radical left, Brian? You don't want to hear about them. You don't want to know about them. Is fighting to abolish American energy, destroy the oil and gas industries, and wipe out your jobs. Washington Democrats have embraced Representative Ocasio-Cortez's nearly $100 trillion Green New Deal disaster. I've added the 4th word. It's a disaster, which would ban oil and gas leasing on all federal lands. And by the way, there'd be no fracking. So let me ask you, Mr. Governor, how do you think that works in Texas? No fracking, no drilling, no oil. Is that okay? Good. I don't think Biden's going to do too well in Texas. He's already written it off. It's gone. No fracking. That's part of his platform. If these far-left politicians ever get into power, they will demolish not only your industry, but the entire U.S. economy. Their stated agenda includes rejoining the Paris Climate Accord, spending billions and billions of dollars in order to make us non-competitive, and seeking an even higher level of restrictions mandating net zero carbon emissions, which frankly is impossible, for all new homes, offices, and buildings by 2030, not possible to do. And if you ever did it, it would cost so much that your home would be valueless. This would cause the cost of construction to skyrocket and effectively end the use of natural gas in homes, because it would be an impossible situation. They're asking for things, just so you understand, that are impossible. I don't know, I haven't checked recently. What have they done with cows? Remember, there were going to be no more cows and no more cattle. I think they might have left that one off the manifesto, but it'll be back. Their platform calls for mandating zero carbon emissions from power plants by 2035. In other words, no drilling, no fracking, no coal, no shale, no gas, no oil. Otherwise, they've been very good to the industry, I think. You got to be careful. You know, people don't take it seriously. If they got in, you will have no more energy coming out of the great state of Texas, out of New Mexico, out of anywhere. Oklahoma, North Dakota, name them. Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania does a lot. People don't realize that a lot. It would throw Pennsylvania, Ohio, so many other places. You don't realize how big it is. They want to have no fracking, no nothing. The policies required to implement this extreme agenda would mean the death of American prosperity and the end of the American middle class. It would mean, I think, even worse than that. It would destroy our country. I used to say it would become another Venezuela. Same ideology, you would become another Venezuela. Venezuela used to be one of the richest in the world per capita, and period, one of the richest in the world, among the largest oil reserves. Now they don't have water. They don't have medicine. They don't have food. They got a lot of oil. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter. They don't have anything. And it can happen to us. All you have to do is look at Portland. Look at the agitators. Look at the anarchists in Portland. And our people have done a great job in protecting our courthouse. And I told my people a little while ago, if they don't solve that problem locally very soon, we're going to send in the National Guard and get it solved very quickly, just like we did in Minneapolis and just like we will do in other places. They want to solve their problem. They've got a very short time to do it, but they'll either solve their problem or we send in the National Guard. The U.S. energy industry would grind to a halt, and every single energy-producing state would be plunged into a depression. 2 million jobs would vanish overnight in just the state of Texas alone, and I think the number's probably, Greg, a lot higher than 2 million. Millions more would disappear in New Mexico and Ohio and Colorado and Pennsylvania. By imposing these punishing restrictions and beyond restrictions, the Washington radical left, crazy Democrats would also send countless American jobs, factories, industries to China and to other foreign polluting states. They want us to take care of our air, but China doesn't take care of its air. In all fairness, India doesn't take care of its air. Russia doesn't take care of its air, but we do. Not on my watch, it's not going to happen, I can tell you that. Because as long as I'm president, we will always put America first. It's very simple, very simple. For years and years, we put other countries first. We now put America first. As we have seen in cities and towns across our nation, it's not just Texas oil that the radical Democrats want to destroy. They want to destroy our country. These people are sick. They are sick. And you better get used to hearing it, because they have some real problems. They don't love our country. In any way, shape, or form, they don't love our country. There's no respect for the American way of life. There is no way of life ever in history that's been like the great American way of life. There's no respect, but there is by you, and there is by 95% of our people. Our people love our country, and our people love our anthem, and they love our flag. Remember that. The radical left wants to tear down everything in its way, and in its place they want power for themselves. They want power. Hard to believe, power. They want to uproot and demolish every American value. They want to wipe away every trace of religion from national life. They want to indoctrinate our children, defund our police, abolish the suburbs, incite riots, and leave every city at the mercy of the radical left. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. And by the way, I just ended the rule on suburbs. You know, the suburbs, people fight all of their lives to get into the suburbs and have a beautiful home. There will be no more low-income housing forced into the suburbs. I abandoned and took away and just rescinded the rule. It's been going on for years. I've seen conflict for years. It's been hell for suburbia. We rescinded the rule 3 days ago, so enjoy your life, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy your life. The proud people of Texas will never bow, kneel, or surrender to the left-wing mob. You will always stand tall and strong for America. Everyone here today carries the legacy of some of the toughest, fiercest, and most determined people ever to walk the face of the earth. Your ancestors, you know that. You know that. Generations of Texas oil workers before you gave every last bit of sweat and heart and grit that they had to build up this country. They loved our country. They loved our country so much they couldn't breathe. Their pride and devotion helped raise up America's cities, power our factories, propel our industries, sustain our families, supply our military, and fuel America's rise into the strongest, wealthiest, and greatest nation the world has ever known. We are now at the strongest point militarily we've ever been due to, I'll tell you, Ted, where is Ted? He was a big leader in this. Stand up again, Ted. Ted Cruz, John Cornyn, and our Senate and our House approved $2.5 trillion to rebuild entirely the United States military. It's now at a point that it's the strongest it's ever been. A lot of the equipment is still coming in, brand new planes and missiles and everything you can think of. And I want to thank you, Ted. You were one of the real leaders, and John, too, the two of you. I appreciate it very much. You were well represented. We have the greatest equipment on earth. We have equipment that I can't even tell you about. You don't want to know about it, frankly, and hopefully we never have to use it. Now it's your turn to help lead our nation to even greater heights. Today we give thanks for each and every one of you, and we are telling the Washington politicians trying to abolish American energy, don't mess with Texas. And I just want to finish by saying that I've had a great relationship with your leaders, with your politicians, with all the people in Texas. We've had great success. We had a great victory. They said, oh, I don't know if he'll win. And we won. Not only did we win, we won quickly and easily. And now we're leading what we had even 4 years ago. I will never let you down. I will never let Texas down. And your governor and your lieutenant governor and your senators, they know that very well. So thank you. And thank you very much, Greg, Dan. Thank you very much, Ted. Thank you. Great job. God bless you. And the great state of Texas, God bless you. God bless you. So on behalf of every American energy worker, I will now sign these very important permits that your governor and your senators have been after me for a long time to sign. And they've been after a lot of other presidents to sign them, but they never were able to get it done. But we got it done, and we got it done for a great state called Texas. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been trying to get this for a long time. That's good. Where's Greg? Greg, your hand back there. Let's give this to the governor. You want to give that? Give that to the governor. So you go. Good morning. We have a lot of things going on, as you know. We're heading out to Texas right now. But Portland, let's give you a little report on Portland. We have the courthouse very well secure. Our people have done a fantastic job. You hear all sorts of reports about us leaving. We're not leaving until they've secured their city. We told the governor, we told the mayor, secure your city. If they don't secure their city soon, we have no choice. We're going to have to go in and clean it out. We'll do it very easily. We're all prepared to do it. So in Portland, they either clean out their city and do the job and get rid of the anarchists and agitators, which is what they are. They're not protesters. They're anarchists and agitators. We have many in jail. Many of them have been put in jail, and it's going to be a long sentence. They either clean out their city and do it right, or we're going to have to do it for them. Okay. On CARES, I think maybe Steve, would you like to say something on this?
As of now, we're very far apart, and because of that, the President and we have discussed a short-term extension to UI and the elections so that we have some period to negotiate before this runs out. The President
we want to work on the eviction so that people don't get evicted. We work on the payments to the people, and the rest of it, we're so far apart, we don't care. We really don't care. We want to take care of the people. The Democrats aren't taking care of the people. The payments aren't enough. The payments aren't enough. You understand that? They're not taking the payments. They're not making them high enough. The Democrats are not taking care of the people. Nancy Pelosi takes care of herself, but she doesn't take care of anyone else. You look at what's going on with Schumer. So when Schumer and Pelosi can get together and take care of the people, we'll do something. In the meantime, we ought to stop eviction because that expires very soon. So we want to stop the eviction.
How do you rate Kamala Harris as the VP? There's a rumor.
I think she'd be a fine choice, Kamala Harris. She'd be a fine choice.
So you think you want to pass a short-term bill? Short-term bills? Are you saying you want to pass a short-term bill?
I don't hear a word you're saying.
Are you saying you want to pass a short-term bill?
Well, we're looking at a deadline, obviously, of this Friday. The President's very focused on eviction and unemployment, and if we can't reach an agreement by then the president wants to look at is giving us more time to negotiate.
We're focused on those two things. We want to take care of them now. The rest we can discuss later. They want big bailout money for Democrats that ran cities terribly. Their cities are going down to the tube. You look at Portland, you look at what's going on in Seattle. Democrat-run cities, whether you like it or not, they're terribly run, and they're always overtaxed. So they've taxed them too much, and they've run them poorly. And we don't like that. And what the Democrats want are bailout funds. And what we want is we want to take care of people. And we should reward most of this country that's well run. You know, most of the country is very well run. You're watching Portland and you're watching Seattle. You're watching New York where they had a 400% increase in crime. 400%. My city that I love, that I left to do this job, and they had a 400% increase. And it's unacceptable. But most of the country is very well run, and Republican cities are very well run. And it's a shame to reward badly run, radical left Democrats with all of this money that they're looking for cities to throw it away on cities that are poorly run.
What about the FBI notice? Are you positive that Russia did not play the boundaries on U.S. troops?
As I told you, I've certainly read about it, and since then I talked about it. Colin Powell says it's not true. Colin Powell's not exactly somebody that I'm a big fan of. Colin Powell says it's not true. Other people say it's not true. If it were true, I'd be very angry about it. But if you look at Russia, Russia became Russia from the Soviet Union because of Afghanistan. They lost a fortune and a lot of people. So I don't know why they'd be doing it, but if you tell me they're doing it, I will certainly take that under consideration.
How would you respond if Russia did turn out to have done that? How would you respond?
I would respond appropriately. Nobody has been tougher on Russia. Nobody has been tougher on China. Nobody has been tougher on Iran than me. And it's not even close. And everybody knows it. Nobody's been tougher on Russia, China, or anybody else than me, including our allies, NATO, who I got to pay $140 billion more money. $140 billion. You know what that is? And you know why? That's to hold Russia in check. All right? I did Russia no favor. Nobody's been tougher on Russia than President on NATO. You just gave the order to remove U.S. troops from Germany. How does that keep Russia in check? Well, Germany's delinquent. They haven't paid their fees. They haven't paid their NATO fees. And they're way off. And they've been off for years, and they have no intention of paying it. And the United States has been taken advantage of on trade and on military and on everything else for many years. And I'm here, and I've been straightening it out. But Germany owes billions and billions of dollars to NATO. And why would we keep all of those troops there? And now Germany's saying it's bad for their economy. Well, it's good for our economy. Germany is delinquent. They're at 1%. They should be at 2%. And actually, everybody should be at 4%, not 2%, because 2% is too low. But they're at 1%. And they've taken advantage of us for many years. And you think that's bad? They take worse advantage on trade. And I was all set to fix that, and then we got hit with the China plague. But we'll be fixing it. And a guy like Biden, this country wouldn't have a chance. With Biden, our country wouldn't have a chance. Go ahead.
China, they closed our consulate in St. Jude. How are you planning a response for that move by China?
Now, we'll see what happens. That's all right. We'll see what happens.
Are you talking to demand for FBI money? The FBI building?
So the FBI building, they've been trying to build a new building for many years, many years. They were thinking about going very far away, but you have to be near the Justice Department. You don't want to be too far away where they have to drive for an hour, hour and a half. Because they had a site way out in Virginia, way out in Maryland. And I said, the best place is right where it is, the best piece of property in Washington. I'm very good at real estate. So I said, we'll build a new FBI building. Let's build a new FBI building. Either a renovation of the existing, or even better would be a new building. So we have that in the bill. It should stay. People have wanted a new FBI building now for 15 or 20 years. then Republicans should go back to school and learn. You need a new building. It's a bad building. It's a dangerous building. You have slabs falling off. It's not a good building from the inside. It's a very expensive building. They need a new building. And we can do it very easily. For me, it would be very, I would make sure you build a great building at a fraction of the cost, and they can have it done quickly. So the FBI building is not new. This is something they've been talking about for many, many years, for decades. So we're looking at TikTok. We're thinking about making a decision. We're going to be watching the hearings today very closely, because there's no question that what the big tech companies are doing is very bad.
Let me just also add on that. TikTok is under CFIUS review, and we'll be making a recommendation to the president on it this week. So we have lots of alternatives.
You were past meeting about that doctor, Mr. President? You were past meeting about that doctor yesterday?
Regret what?
Stella Emanuel, the doctor, do you wish you could not reach
I was very impressed with her and other doctors that stood with her. I think she made sense, but I know nothing about it. I just saw her on, making a statement with very respected doctors. She was not alone. She was making a statement about hydroxychloroquine with other doctors that swear by it. They think it's great. So she was not alone. Fake news CNN made it like, oh, I said this, I said that. She was with a whole group of people. And you ought to tell your network, the reason their ratings are so bad is because the coverage is so false. If CNN would be honest, and that goes for MSDNC also, but your network is so dishonest in its coverage on just about everything. And there's an example. I was very impressed by her, know nothing about her, I had never seen her before, but certainly you could put her up and let her have a voice. So what they did is they took down their voice. Now, they seem to never take down the other side. They only take down conservative voices. It's a shame. And with hydroxy, all I want to do is save lives. I don't care if it's hydroxy or anything else. All I want to do is save lives. If we can save lives, that's great. Now, one thing, we're doing very well on vaccines and very well on therapeutics. So that's very important. But I happen to be a believer in hydroxy. I used it. I had no problem. I happen to be a believer. Many, many people agree with me. A great test just came out from the Ford Clinic in Michigan, very respected. We'll see how it is.
Have you decided how you're going to do this event for the second speech yet?
Well, I'm thinking about it, but we're picking a location fairly soon. We'll let you know.
It won't be here at the White House or somewhere in
It might be. It's something we're thinking about.
So Dr. Germany, are those troops, what signal does it send to Russia? Those troops were always there to defend Europe against Russia.
You're right. They're there to protect Europe. They're there to protect Germany, right? And Germany is supposed to pay for it. Germany's not paying for it. So why should we leave them if we don't want to be the suckers anymore? The United States has been taken advantage of for 25 years, both on trade and on the military. We're protecting Germany. So we're reducing the force because they're not paying their bills. It's very simple. They're delinquent. Very simple. And there are other NATO countries also. Right now you have 8 out of the 28 countries that are paid up. I got them to pay $130 billion a year more, going up to $400. Most of them will be up to date. Wasn't easy, but most of them will be up to date. The one that won't be up to date is Germany. And we spend a lot of money on Germany. They take advantage of us on trade, and they take advantage of the military. So we're reducing the force. Now, if they start paying their bills, I could rethink about it. I would think about it differently. We talked to Putin about a lot of different things, mostly arms control. We're working on the vaccine. I think we'll have one. Oxford's doing very well. Pfizer's doing very well. We have a lot of good options. You're going to have to talk about it. I can hear everybody but you. I can hear everybody but you.
On arms control, did you make progress? Are there going to be formal negotiations?
Yeah, there already are. We're in formal negotiations with Russia. on arms control.
What about bringing China in?
On nuclear arms control.
What about bringing China in?
We'll talk about that later. We're going to work this first and we'll see. China right now is a much lesser nuclear power, you understand that, than Russia. Right now, we are the great nuclear power. We've upgraded our nuclear tremendously. We have the most power. Russia is second and China is third. China is surging, they'll be there at some point. And yeah, we would want to talk to China eventually.
Why not as part of a trilateral negotiation? China not one of these
We thought that we would do it first. I don't know if it's going to work out, but we would do it first, and then we go to China together. Okay? Which I think worked out probably.
Did you talk about O'Brien?
I did. I wished him well. I haven't seen him in a while, but he went on vacation. He came back. He wasn't well. Tested positive. He's doing very, very well.
Why haven't you seen
He said he's doing very well. I spoke to him yesterday.
Mr. President, are you concerned about reports that a lot of Americans
No, I'm not concerned. Well, I'm a therapeutic person too, to be honest. I love the idea of therapeutics where you go in, you give somebody a transfusion or a shot, and they get better. I am a big therapeutic person. But we're doing very well with vaccines and therapeutics, okay? And as far as Portland is concerned, we've taken a very strong stand. They are anarchists, they're radical, crazy people, and they're either going to straighten it out for themselves, Portland, the police, and maybe if the state gets involved, that means the governor and the mayor. But they're very weak people. They're very weak people. These radicals, these anarchists are controlling the governor and the mayor. The mayor went into a rally. It wasn't accurately reported by CNN, by NBC. The mayor went into a rally. He thought he'd be their buddy. They excoriated him. What they did to him was incredible. Lucky he had 5 bodyguards, but they excoriated him. NBC, I didn't see CNN because I don't watch CNN. NBC absolutely covered it like he was their big buddy. No, he was in great danger of dying. He would have been dead if he didn't have his bodyguards. These are bad people. These are anarchists. They're agitators. And either they do something or we're going to do it. In the meantime, our purpose there is only to protect our federal buildings, which we're doing with no problem. I mean, they're nasty and they're vicious people, but our people are very powerful people, very powerful. And either they're going to clean up Portland soon, or the federal government is going up, and we're going to do it for them. So either they clean out Portland, the governor and the mayor, who are weak, either they clean out Portland, or we're going in to do it for them. Okay, thank you very much.